turbo return, coolant necks and sensors, turbo oil feed, fuel pressure regulator, motor mounts, oil pan bolt. Spark plugs, the BKR7Es. Apparently they're really good. The 7 denotes the temperature, and we're gonna get those in there. We're going to seal the combustion chamber. Then we follow specific torque guidelines to make sure that is where it needs to be. You can see the approximate torque that needs to be applied on the back of your case here. This one says 18 to 21 foot-pounds. So we're going to do 18 because we don't want to mess up the head. Then we're installing our factory coils back. I believe it went something like this. These two were on the same thing. So these two and these two. Alright, so we've got our old motor mounts here. They are pretty solid. The car only ran for, I don't know, a month or two after we put these on, so these are solid. These are the fancy Mazda Speed Performance ones or comp ones, whatever you want to call them. So I'm just going to reuse these. I'm going to take them outside and brake clean them because they are extremely dirty and gunky. So same procedure as before, brake clean and that wire brush. Engine mount bracket tube block, 14 mil, 27 to 38 foot-pounds. 36 foot-pounds. All right, that one is on. Trying to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so when you're tightening this down, remember that on the passenger side of the block, this bolt right here is actually a long one. This one is a short one, and this one is in between the size of these two ones. And on the other side, it's very similar. Except this one is the short one, that one's the long one, and this one's the medium-sized one. Anyways, you'll find out for yourself. Just don't do it too much. If it doesn't want to go, cut it out. There's a reason why. Same can be said for anything. Anyways, okay, we got our motor mounts on. I think it is time to take it off of our stand here so we can figure out our flywheel and clutch and then back plate and mount it up to the transmission. Chop chop. All right, so now it's time to clean the flywheel and put the flywheel on. Okay, so we have to change our pilot bearing here. So we're gonna tap it out. We're just gonna use this little socket right here and Hulk smash.
You're there.
It's out.
Easy.
Easy peasy. This one wasn't terrible, but we got a new one at Rock Auto. Sponsor us, Rock Auto. So we're gonna put the new one in, but the new one has to be flush and the surface has to be clean. So once again, a little bit of brake clean on there. But first we're gonna clean up the whole flywheel with some brake clean and our bristle brush. All right, so our plastic wire brush, took all the surface rust off of there. With our brake clean, we're gonna give it a light wipe, just to take off any excess that we might have in there. And then we will put our new bushing in there. Or bearing, bushing. All right, so now to seat the new bearing in there,
which is this one.
What you wanna do is get something to make sure that you have a flat surface on the back here so that you don't lay it unevenly. So let's find something that will slot into that hole really nicely. All right, we're gonna use this. Nice and flat. We get the new boy in there. And we take the old boy, sit it on top. That is really flush.
And now it's crunchy.
Now it's a little crunchy, just like the other one. All right. So let's go ahead and mount this up now using our flywheel bolts that look like this. Oh, no, the guard goes on first. Whoops. The shield that goes on here goes on first. Yep. That bolt goes there. All right. Okay, now that that's installed, let's get this on. Okay, so this is going to 74 foot-pounds. We're just going to run it down with this first and then torque it correctly. The mallet, once again, to the rescue.
So go this way.
Go ahead.
So you're just going to hold it?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so now that your flywheel is installed, we want to get our clutch and pressure plate set up and ready for our transmission. So what we want to do first is make sure we have our clutch alignment tool and then get all the bolts out of the flywheel. All right, so now we got it cleaned up. Let's go ahead and get our clutch in between and we'll line it up. So here we have our old ACT clutch. It is pretty good. Didn't run very long with the car, of course, along with all the other components. Usually they have a transmission side mark on them, so you want to know, okay, great, this side goes to the transmission, and then this side goes to the motor. And then what we want to do is kind of sit it there, take our clutch, and line up our clutch on the pegs. And they're kind of there. Once we've got it lined up, we want to take our clutch alignment tool, lift our clutch into place into the pilot bearing, massage everything together. All right, not bad. I'm gonna pull out the clutch alignment tool. I like to put a little grease on there so you get grease in the splines, so it makes it easier to slide the transmission shaft into. So let's get a little grease on here. You can also put just a little grease on your finger and run it in there. Doesn't matter.
Sounds like a bench to me.
And then we get our clutch, our flywheel bolts, and we start doing them in a cross-hatch pattern to slowly suck in the clutch once we've got it all aligned. Cool, flywheel installed. So now let's get our transmission on this bad boy. It's gonna be 8 17mm bolts. And yeah, that's about it. Let's see how she lines up with our clutch alignment. So we see our transmission. She's leaning back to us a little bit, just a hair, barely, probably not at all.
I'll grab the back, I guess, if you want.
Yeah, so you can grab the back and work on lining her up here. Push forward. Let's come over here to get over a lip or something. No, that's just our clutch lining up. Okay, sometimes you get to a point where you just gotta put a few bolts in so it'll suck it in. Let's get some of the longer bottom bolts started.
So crazy how little teeth
You just do a little shovey shove, a little nut and bolt action. Yay! And we need to work everything to spec.